Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. Today I'll be going over my second round game from the 4th Cleveland Go Club rating tournament. If you did not see my last video, aka my last review of my first round game, I did end up winning that game. And so my record so far was 1-0, and so I got paired with someone else that was 1-0, who is 5-dan, Janar Kahr. Funnily enough, this was our first time playing any game in person, but we had actually played in a couple online tournaments going back at least like 3 or 4 years. I believe we've played twice, and so this is the first time we've played in person. So I was very excited to play them. As a reminder, the time settings for these games was 30-minute main time with 3 30-second overtime. And we get a very standard opening, wide approaches, and then we get this pincer. And this pincer, while not bad by any means, it's definitely the least common of the pincers, the low pincers, I should say. Usually you will see all the way to C13 or even C12. These are the two more common ones you'll see, but C11 is obviously still possible. Now, the idea with, like, how do you decide where to pincer, right? Because there is a difference between the 3 pincers. And so what are they? And so the closer you are, and this is true for any pincers, the closer you are to the stone you're pincering, the more pressure you are putting on that stone. And what that means is if I were to go elsewhere, in one move, black can seal white in completely. So the closer you are, the more pressure you are putting in, so it's more likely your opponent's going to answer. Now, the further away you get, the less likely they can answer, I should say. Because we can see even now, you can't seal in completely. And if you go even further away, there's even less of a chance to seal white in. Now, with that in mind, the closer you are, one, obviously, even though you're sealing in, white can still live and there's still Aji, but also you are surrounding a smaller portion of the board. Whereas even if this, we'll just go straight to this one. Let's say you're able to surround this, you are now going to be threatening to surround even more of the board. So you're playing further away, but you're actually threatening to surround them on a larger scale. Now, the other thing, and this is more true with this specific 3-4 low approach, is the closer you are, now that the lean here is the most common, the more likely you are to push and cut. Because the closer you are, the more your two stones, your cutting stone and your pincering stone, are working together. But the further away you get, we can just see the further away your cutting stone and your pincering stone are, so they're working less together. So basically, the closer you are, the more likely your opponent, or in this case, the pincering, whoever's pincering, is going to push and cut. So you will almost always see push and cut here. You will most likely see push and cut here because they are still close enough to be having a connection or a communication, I should say. But when you're this far away, now it's just a little too far for it to be communicating. And so why should you push and cut? What if you were to just crawl? Because these are the two options usually. You can push and cut, or you can just crawl. If you crawl, the difference is all of a sudden, now your opponent, or white here in this case, now is getting some thickness. Again, it's not strength by any means, but now white has some thickness, or at least some stones blocking your pincering stone to your corner. And so now white could counterattack. White can now counterattack. And so playing this just crawling would allow white to kind of switch the tables on you, turn the tables on you. So that's why when you're further away, we can see if you do the same thing, now it's less likely white can counterattack because white's thickness, white stones here, are further away from your pincering stone. So there is a balancing act, but basically, depending on how you want to play, should affect which pincer you choose. So black chose this one. And lean, we get this. And then black does something, again, not necessarily bad, but just kind of not as common, as black pushes once and then extends. Again, though, this is better when you have a stone further away, because again, white can't counterattack because you're so far away. But usually you will just jump, because the less you push from behind, the better. Right here, each stone white's adding is worth more than black stones. The idea for black, though, is black is trying to avoid any pushing and cutting Aji, or even directly playing c17 because of the push and cut Aji. And so here's a good question. Where should white play then? White can't really pincer, but the thing is, if you go elsewhere completely, you do not want a stick in the middle of the board. It is hard to make, it's hard to just manage stones like that. And not saying black should do it this directly, but just for example, if black were to peep here and then jump, you can see white's now not getting the corner or the side territory, and also is now not getting thickness. So whether black does it that way or simply just jumps up like this, we can see white now needs to manage these stones somehow. So whenever you get these, whenever you have this Joseki where your opponent pincers and they do crawl instead of pushing and cutting, you really want to try to get some extension into the center. So in the game, I chose F12, and I think it's a perfect spot, especially with the 3-stone wall here. And so this is making it now so that this group is very hard to put under pressure now. Now the flip side of this is this stone it doesn't have no value. It has actually quite a bit of value, because let's say, and black does go elsewhere, black 3/3s, that's fine. We get this Joseki. The idea with F12 is now we can shoulder hit. And now we can shoulder hit. And again, we are okay as white here, just giving our opponent the left side on a small scale, something like this. Something like this. Yeah, so white's able to use F12 to reduce the left side. It is important to note that if black had just played here, white would probably then extend to here, in which the shoulder hit is still the move white is looking for. Now in the game, and I think I should shoulder hit, I would probably shoulder hit and maybe jump. This will most likely give me Sente. If black clamps, I can go elsewhere. As opposed to standing up and then kind of needing to fix, and then black can go elsewhere. In the game, though, because of the Joseki that was chosen in the lower right, I decided to H3. Get a nice approach to the lower left Shimari, but also get a nice extension here. And then black plays here, and then plays the knight's move. And I think this is okay. I really think black should just shoulder hit here. It might look strange. It might look like a strange move, but it means white can't push here because it gives black good shape. And if white ever crawls, white's giving black 5th line territory. And the other nice thing, whether you make this exchange or not, is this is less forceful on the upper side group because you're not touching. Whereas if you do this one, it is actually a lot harder for white to ignore when you now take away a liberty from this one stone here. Black goes there though, and plays back, and then I jump. And black jumps. So again, now we're getting a left side versus bottom side scenario. So I extend, and then extend again, and then black plays M6. And M6, anytime you get this kind of move, it's always a tricky decision. Like, should you play some cap or some sort of shoulder hitting move to seal black in, or should you just take your cash and force your opponent out? And I think either way is technically possible here. The reason why I just decided with this one is because black's not close to any of their friendly stones anyways. Like the closest stone is the F6 stone, and we can see that is too far to connect in one move, right? So yeah, that's why I decided just take the cash. If I were to play a move, again, it's hard to, which is the exact move to play, probably one of these three. But regardless of which one I pick, black has forcing moves with peep, black has forcing moves with peep, and I still can't perfectly seal black in. Even if I do the shoulder hit, peep, peep. Again, the thing with these peeps too is there are multiple ways to answer as well. It's not that I have to connect. But just for simplicity's sake, I do connect. We can see it's actually quite hard to keep black sealed in. It's actually quite hard to keep black sealed in. So yeah, that's why I decided just, since black's in no man's land anyways, I'll just take my cash. So black stands up, then I just answer. Again, gotta keep my group that's in the center comfortable. He's got to keep this group comfortable. There is a world where I could play here, but again, with maybe just directly poke at the shape there, you know, my group is starting to get in some danger. So just take care of your groups. And even being able to stand up here, there's still a cut at J16, which comes up in the game. Black extends. I jump, or approaches, I mean. I jump, and then black plays here. And I think this is black's first real mistake in the game, because the space here by itself is not that valuable. Black doesn't really want the cash here, because there is none. I think, and black has the M6 stone to worry about, so I think black really should think of something else. Yeah, think of something else. I really want to play this kind of move here. Maybe G3, something like that. Yeah, because we'll see white ends up ignoring this move, and we'll see how much white gains by ignoring it. Because in the game, I end up haneing and cutting. And for all you maybe low dons or high Qs, this is a good move to know, the hane and cut. And here's why. So everything we're going to look at is compared to if we do this into this, I connect black descends, or hanging connection into Atari. Compare everything we're about to see to this variation here. So if I cut, the idea with the cut is there are three possible moves black can play. Black can cut at Q2, black can S4, or black can T3. Those are the three moves, because directly I'm threatening to capture these three stones at S5. So if black plays Q2, like this, and we get this kind of exchange, I am able to turn and capture these two stones. And this is where black's exchange of M6 to M4 bites black later on, is now black needs to live, but now the bottom side is just a lot smaller. It's just a lot smaller now. And whether I play the diagonal or play this way, black's not gaining a lot on the bottom, and now we can see the R12 stone, and this is the key, is when white turns at S8, this is also attacking the R12 stone indirectly. So this, in this case, this variation just would not be possible for black. So black has two other options, basically. If black S4s, we get a co shape, like this. Yeah, and again, white is gaining a lot in this corner if, like, here's the co here, and we can look around the board. Where's black's threats? Because black's going to be giving up the entire lower right if this happens. So what if black plays here? Well, this allows me to get S1, and then I can do the hanging connection. And the idea with this is, if we, again, compare that to the original, like this variation that we were looking at earlier, I don't get S1, and so I get less points in this variation. But if I'm able to get S1 by making this exchange, you can see I've actually gained quite a bit. Now, black could... The other thing about this is white blocking at S8 now is now Sente. If black goes elsewhere, this actually threatens to kill the lower right by simply hane. And again, there's a proverb in Life and Death where there's death in the Hane. Where directly we're threatening to cut here at S5. If black takes S5, we can just extend. And this is pretty cool. Black can't play T6, so black has to take, and then we can T6 ourselves. If black takes at S4, be careful, don't T6, because then black can still stay alive in this case. Instead, though, just play T5 directly, and notice black can't T6. So that means black really needs to add a move here, in which case, and we'll see this in the game, black can connect back, but look how much white has gained in this reduction. Now, the thing with P2 as well is, especially in this game, white can probably choose to S8 instead. Because again, with this R12 stone kind of floating there now, black really wants to add, or really want to capture here. Because again, if you don't capture, if you do nothing else, white fixing now becomes Sente. So in this game, white would actually play S8, force black to capture like this, and then just attack this stone relentlessly. Again, there's a lot of choices. I might come out like this and reduce the top. But see, black has a floating stone at M6, black has a floating stone at R12. So yeah, this would be not so good for black. So in the game, black chooses the covariation and pushes once again. That's kind of the key move. And again, I think there is something to be said about white just blocking. Yeah, I think white could technically just block. Thing is, though, this is just directly Gote. So yeah, black can just go elsewhere. And it's not like, again, when we get this variation where we go here, play there, and then we get the cut. This confused me because black, it looks like black's fighting the ko, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to fight this ko because it's very big. But then black just connects, and then I can fix. I think black should just, and then after I fix, black connects at S10. I think black should just fix at S10, because even if I play S3 and black has to connect, later on, black's able to P2. And in some cases, getting P2 can be super valuable, right? Peeping at P2. But when you cut here, look how good it makes white's shape. So, but yeah, we can see how much black has gained since playing R12. Black has made a bunch of second line territory. And now I even have some stones out in the center, which allow me to jump up. And again, now I'm surrounding this center stone on a large scale. And black knows that that center is now getting too big, and black plays here. Now, black has, the problem with the game now for black is black needs to reduce the center while also keeping a good majority of the left side. And by playing here, I don't like this direction for black because this is playing close to where white wants to come in, or white can come in. So I think black instead should just play lightly out into this direction, something like this. If we view moves like this as Sente, we don't want to play close to these moves. But when we play here, we are playing close to this move now. And so every move white adds is hurting K8 even more. In the game, though, I play a little more directly by playing here, which again, black knows that black really can't refute this directly, so black just peeps, and then I peep, and black attaches, but black didn't answer my move, and so we get a trade here, and I'm able to push through. And so this result is very good for white, because now white is getting that reduction on the left side for free. And this is, whenever you hear strong players talk about, oh, make sure you attack for profit, this is what we're talking about. White isn't directly trying to kill the center, but by virtue of the center being weak, white was able to reduce black like so. And so I play this. This is probably a little too solid. You can't say it's a necessarily bad move, especially with how the game's going, but there is something to be said about just jumping out and black not really being able to push and cut very severely. Yeah. But when you have a pretty strong position, you can spend moves like this, just a very solid move. So there's no chance for counterplay. And then black peeps and then slides here. But I say, black, what about your center stones? So I play at the shape point. Yeah, there is something to be said about black just fixing the shape, something like this. And black will most likely live somehow. But black figures, there's no points there anyways. So, for black, that is. So black doesn't want to spend moves to make a couple points. So black's trying to make back those points by playing elsewhere. But I say, well, what about your center group? So black attaches, and I hane. Because again, when you're so strong here, normally this kind of move like this wouldn't be possible. But when you're so solid, you can see black actually can't capture the M4 stone. And this is again where this exchange Q2 to eventually P2 wasn't good for black. That's why I wish black just had played S10. Black has to connect back. And once black plays here, this is a big tell for me. Once black plays here, this is telling me black cares about every stone. Like, for example, right now, it is just 5 stones. If black wanted to go elsewhere, and sure, I'm going to get the center, and the center is quite big, but that's all I have, really, is I have this big center here. But once black connects here, now black is heavy. Now black has to save it all. And for basically the rest of the game, that's kind of what's on my mind the entire time. And we start with F9. And again, the idea with F9 is whenever you're attacking a group, so in this case, I'm attacking the center here, look for their nearby stone. So, okay, the left side. And before you kind of all out attack this, play towards their nearby stones. Because again, in an attack, you need to be flexible. You can't be expecting to kill this. You need to be looking for potential profit elsewhere. So for example, black could just jump here, but then, okay, now I'm reducing the left side again. This is a big reduction too. And because of the weak group, black has to submit a little bit. Like, black would like to be able to cut here. But by cutting, black needs to be able to now save this stone. But we can just see in the process, I would be able to indirectly attack the center. So black smartly goes here. But even this exchange, I've gained. I've gained with this exchange. So I slide under. That's just a asking move. Black just attaches and then play up top. So again, this is similar to F9. I am asking black, okay, well, I've now gathered my information on the left side. How are you going to play up top? And M16 is at a very nice spot because not only is it looking to play N15, but it's also looking to cut directly at J16. So for example, if black fixes this cut here, I'm able to play this kind of move, and this just perfectly, for the most part, perfectly connects, because if black tries to separate too severely, I'm able to connect back this way. If black cuts directly, I can just connect here, and black shape is too bad to really fight here strongly. Like, black has to fix with this, push, 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 and then jump. So you can't really attack either of white sides very severely here. Yeah, so this would be a tough fight for black. If black fixes like black does in the game, then I can simply just cut here. And the idea is, it looks like a ladder, and it is technically a ladder, but white can push here. And yeah, if you block, then cut and capture. So white will probably, or black will probably just take, but then even just hane and hane, we can see now the upper left is in danger, and this stone at M16 still has a ton of achi. So if you live there, you still are under attack. So yeah, this attack here, or this move here, is in a very annoying spot for black. A very annoying spot for black. And then black goes here. Again, I think you really want to play this one. This is the usual move you play. Black's playing here to put even extra pressure on the 3 stones, but this is putting more pressure on the M16 stone. And then I can kick. And again, I think black needs to descend. I think this is much better shape compared to this one. Yeah, this is just better shape between these two stones, Q18 and O17. So then I'm able to cut. Black Ataris. In this similar vein, I think black should just diagonal. This is much better shape for black. This is much better shape for black compared to this one. This one, there's 0 Aji of pushing and cutting. Here, there is still the push and cut Aji at G17. So, black covers. But I'm able to kick. And again, black fixes. And I think fixing is an okay move. The idea with fixing is black wants to play a move like this, but black's worried about... If black goes all out to try to kill this, there's a lot of bad Aji with pushing and cutting on the outside. Again, there's a lot of variation, so I don't want to show all of it. But black's trying to be flexible here, as well as black's trying to activate J15 a little bit better. Because this stone is looking to activate the stone. But I'm able to just play here. Black pushes, and then Ataris. But of course, I just play R17. So you can see I actually... Not only do I get points, some points up top, or at least take away black's points up top, I now get a pretty nice territory on the upper right now. And so now the question is, can black use this thickness black got? And that's why I think instead of jumping here, I would R17. That's where the cash is. If white has to Hane, then we just do something else. Our upper right is 100% alive. But yeah. And then black pushes even. And yeah, this is way too slow. Way too slow. So I just cover there. And again, this cover is so big. But then black plays here. And again, this is the shape point of those 3 stones. So this is a nice spot. I connect. And then black descends once. Again, this descent would work a lot better if black could peep at P2 instead. And then black jumps there. I peep. And then black cuts. And this cut is very interesting, actually. Because depending on how either player plays, it could be a good or bad result. So for example, as soon as I saw this, my first instinct is to give up those, 7 stones? And here's why. Black's center is still not alive. Black has not helped the center. So if I were to play something like, let's say, push, something like this, right? Technically, because black owes if black doesn't owe a move here, this would be pretty bad for white. But since black technically owes a move, because this double cut, I guess, just works. Or white's gonna Atari first and connect. So because of that problem, black owes a move first, and then white's able to surround. But even this, again, I'm not super strong. I can't go all out to try to attack this because I am also weak. I am also weak here. So this would mean somehow I'm going to connect back, but most likely black is going to be able to as well. Somehow. Again, there's a lot of variations, but somehow black's going to be able to connect back. And so I want to keep the attack going in the center. And so these, I just told myself, okay, what value do these stones have? Well, if I do save them, not much. And so in the game I Atari, but I think Atari is a little slack because I think black had the opportunity to pull back here. This basically forces me to take. And then when black jumps something like this, or even goes elsewhere, this stone is now getting swallowed. Just for simplicity's sake, let's say black does answer. This stone's getting swallowed. And so now black's the one who's kind of taking the center now. And now there's zero chance for a counterattack. And again, these stones here aren't giving me any points. So in the game, black does end up going here, but obviously this Atari is now splitting both groups. But because black can pull back and I have to take, I think I can directly go here. Now the obvious move is what happens when black wedges. Well, if black wedges, I can Atari and connect here. And yeah, this means black can't Atari here because of double Atari, or cut there because of double Atari. So yeah, and there is some cool variations for black pushes first here, and then if I ever answer like this becomes a double Atari. Yeah, but I can simply just Atari here, and even if black can squeeze like this, black needs to connect back here. Black owes a move at Q8 still, so then I'm able to still completely surround the center. And black reduced a little bit, but that wasn't going to be many points anyways. And my corner's still alive. Corner's still alive. So yeah, I think I should directly attach here. And if black, let's say black clamps here, now when I Atari, black shape is a lot worse here. Black shape is a lot worse here. So yeah. But black connects, and I get the key spot here. And now this is kind of Tesuji 101. This is Tesuji 101. I have a problem here that doesn't work, right? I can't ladder this way, and I can't ladder this way, right? So before I decide what to do, I play somewhere else. And so I cap here. And this is, again, just asking black, what are you going to do? So black pushes. This is a mistake by me. I cover. I should just block here. This means later this move becomes sente. And we'll see that does play a part in this game. Even though there is some aji here, there shouldn't be any danger or much danger. So, but not the end of the world. So black goes here. But again, black has a problem here. Black has a problem here. So now, what's a move that combines both of them? Now I can play this not only surrounding the L9 stone, but also surrounding these stones. So black has to push, cover, black takes, and then I'm able to, again, surround the left side, or the center. Now, it turns out the way I played was probably the worst way possible, because I'll show you there's a lot of ways white could play to simplify this position so much. So first way is when black plays here, I can just Atari, and then cover. No problems. Black is completely sealed in. No issues. Yeah. And then even after this is still okay, as long as I just cover here. All I need to do is cover here. Because of the shortage of liberties black has, black can't be too crazy trying to cut me. And so if black has to, let's say, connect like this, I'm able to connect, even though black cuts, and this is somewhat forcing. These stones have no danger here, and so once again, black is just surrounded. So I had a lot of ways to play here. Again, this was one of the, whenever I played too fast in this tournament, it ended up biting me. So, and overall, I was keeping a consistent pace, but whenever I played too quickly was when things started to go awry for me. So I just, when I played this, I was like, oh yeah, that's the shape point. But when black pushes and then peeps here, it's like, oh my goodness, why did I do this to myself? Because I have to cover, and then black breaks through. I stand up, and all of a sudden, black's making an eye in the center. So I had the right idea with one sacrificing the 7 stones and then capping, but I just played too fast. Just played too fast. But now I can use this Hane earlier that I had played. So play there. Again, if black tries to connect, black has too many weaknesses. So black just goes there. I stand up. Black covers. This is a nice move. If black has to go here, this is very bad for black. But black can go here once at least. And I can't cut because then, once again, black can connect. Again, these stones aren't what's important. What's important is keeping the cut here alive at G10, but also the Aji here alive. Because then even if the center can live, if I can reduce the left side, that's enough. So black covers. Again, that's where I have to connect. But then black goes here, and this felt very strange to me. Because similar to when black took the 6 stones here, or 7 stones here before, this is allowing me to directly or indirectly attack the center. And so black is able to surround the top side, but the center is clearly bigger than the top side. So black gives me L12 for free. Because I'm just like, okay, just stay connected and you'll be fine. Black pushes and then peeps. But notice now black owes a move at K11. In this case, black played that one, but in a similar vein, black can't let me get this move, because this move not only saves the stone, but also threatens cuts here. So black has to play some move there. But this gives me time to play J7. And so this got rid of black's eye that black could have taken if black didn't play the way they did. So for example, if black had played, let's say like this, or like this. Well, let's say this one, right? And I play here. Black's alive here in the center. Black's alive here in the center. So, yeah. Black should be alive, or at least it's a ko. Again, it's still complicated, but this is a very promising way for black. More promising than the game, at least. Because again, in this case, I poke out the eye, and again, black has the same problem if there's a cut here, but also a weakness on the left side. And black connects here. This was a mistake. My answer was technically a mistake, because there's actually no Aji for black here. There's no Aji for black. So if I just like push here, what I was afraid of is this kind of ko like this, right? But the nice thing about that ko is I can actually just Atari here. And black has to take it if I connect. Again, there's no real Aji when black throws in. Yeah, if black throws in directly, again, I can actually just connect. I can just connect. So, yeah, again, no real danger. So I should just push through. Again, this was a nice move to say, okay, I'm now fully connected, and you still have to connect. But since there's no eye there anyways, this tail is basically meaningless. So black plays there. This was nice. But again, I know what black's planning. If I did fix, then black's able to connect. So I say, well, I have to keep an eye on the prize. So play there. And again, we can see this is the idea, where there's a weakness here. If black connects, then I'm able to connect. And again, black is still surrounded in the center. So black cuts, but I'm able to push through. And this push through feels very nice. This push through feels very nice. And black connects. And so I say, okay, I've actually gained enough from this attack, because I've reduced the left side. I've gotten all the way into the left side. I can cut at L6. And sure, black has captured these 6 stones, but I can now live up top. So black goes there, and play there. And then black bumps here. Because now black's saying, okay, I need to make sure I'm alive. Okay, that makes sense. But then I cut, and then connect. So that was huge. Yeah, I really think black should instead play this one. This is ginormous. Although I guess now that I look at it, the reason why black does that is actually black is, again, too low on liberties here. And I guess this is the value of my move at M7, because if black cuts, I can still capture. So my M7 move actually ended up mattering. I just didn't know it at the time. I just didn't know it at the time. But yeah, I guess black does need to add a move there. But this is better for eye shape. This is better for eye shape, because in one move, black can live. And we'll see, that might end up mattering. So cut, play there, sure. Black pushes, I block. Black fixes now, because this looks like it's dead shape, and it is locally. But I can, whether I push first, I can capture the stones. So I can at least capture these cutting stones. So black fixes that. And I'm looking at this board, and I'm like, okay, I'll just play there. And black's like, I'm going to kill you. So I descend. This is a nice test Sujivi to know, by the way, because if black continues to try to kill you, you can push, throw in, Atari, and capture. So this is a good move to know. So black plays there, and this is when I noticed, hold on a second, look at the center. Look at this center. I think that's dead. It's basically what went through my mind. I'm like, I think that's a dead center. So there is really bad Aji with this kind of Atari here and push like this, right? And so I simply just said, okay, I'm going to play D16. That fixes all my Aji. Black's going to kill me, which black does. I play there once. And then I say, okay, now I kill you. And so I push here, and yeah, this is just a dead shape. Play there. Sorry, just play there. Yeah, play this one. Play this one. If black goes here, then I can throw in like this. Or that's even just double Atari. If black goes there, then I play that move. So yeah, black plays there, and it's the same thing. Basically, what I think both players were missing was, once black got this Ponuki, it looked like it was just an eye no matter what, but it has been a false eye for a few moves. So yeah, black blocks, and then I can just push or peep there. And so black plays there. Yep, Atari, take. Black plays there, and then I just fix because, okay, you can have the top side. I'll just live on the upper right. Black plays there and connect. So yeah, after just killing the center, obviously that's too big. Even though black killed the top, the center is just way too big. So black tries to make a ko here, and successfully makes a ko. Plays ko threats that technically lose points, but when you're so far behind you and any amount of points, like, you can just play whatever. Like, it doesn't matter how many points you lose. Like, you're going to lose anyways, so it's okay. But what ends up happening is after this, connect. Yeah, black answers. Yep, black has those. This is also a ko threat, yeah. Black takes, that's a ko threat. When white Atari's here and takes, it's at worst a Seki for white. Because even if black finds a ko threat, which black does have one, let's see, let's push. If I just connect here, black has to play R14, and so it's a Gote Seki for black. And so since the best black has is a Gote Seki, once white took here, black just resigned because the center's too big. And it is, obviously you can just see the center's just too big, but it was a roughly white's ahead by 40-ish points here. But yeah, I was very happy with this game, besides messing up some, just going back through the game, there's some very obvious, easy moves, I would say. Just like keeping my eye on the prize. Like, okay, if you just surround the center, that's enough. Like, just very simple moves. I've basically made the game more complicated than it needs to be. Besides that, I was very happy with how solidly I played, and therefore kind of keeping things simple. I liked how simple white played this game. Yeah, I just really liked how I played this game. And again, overall, so far, I should say, in this tournament, I was very happy with my play. Very happy with my play. But yeah, second round game, end in resignation. So I was currently 2-0 at the tournament and feeling pretty good, especially when I have to not only help set up the tournament, but also run the brackets at the tournament. It is a busy day. It is a busy, long day. So if I can break even at 2-2, well, 2-2 is my worst record, or like 2-2 is my worst potential record, I'm already happy that I've won 2 games. So so I was happy with that. But yeah, 2 more rounds to go. So look forward to reviews of those games. And yeah, if you have any questions or comments, please let me know in the comments section below. And I'll see you all in the next video.